Hey, how's it going? Welcome back. All right, so here is some insight as to how to not be shy and awkward. So keep this in mind, all right? I used to be a very shy, awkward person. Um, I would like to think that I still identify myself as a shy guy, though no one believes me. I think that's my natural state. I've just been very good at understanding that it's okay to be shy and still be talkative, still be able to socialize. So keep this in mind. I think once you're able to sort of understand it and embrace the fact that you're a shy person and just be okay with it, that is the first part, is accepting it, right? The other thing is you want to be able to liberate yourself from the tyranny of that label. Because what happens is you'll make excuses and say, well, I don't want to do certain things, or I can't do this, or I don't feel comfortable doing this because of my shyness, right? I'm awkward, I'm uncomfortable, I don't like it, it doesn't make me feel good. So what happens is you make that excuse and then you find any reason to not do anything that's going to make you uncomfortable because of that, right? Because it's so paralyzing that you can't possibly speak to a stranger, right? I've been there. I've made every excuse possible to not speak to people I don't know because I don't feel comfortable. And Gen Z, no shade to you guys, but you have taken that to an extreme, right? This whole safe space thing where you don't want to talk to anybody you don't know. Um, the other thing is you want to understand that the easiest way to start, okay, you're saying, fine, I understand I'm a shy person, I'm over it, leave me alone, I'm okay with it, my parents haven't complained to me, no one tells me anything about it. But let's say if you are understanding that you've missed a couple shots because of your quote unquote shyness, the first thing you need to do is speak to strangers, and particular strangers. Let me tell you who you can start with are people that are basically forced to speak to you. In this case, it would be baristas, waitresses, cashiers, people that are on the clock that can't just run away when you start saying some freaky stuff or start making things uncomfortable or being awkward. Those are the people that I practiced with in the very beginning. And so that made it easier because I knew that at that point I was like, well, they're kind of in a position where they can't really just walk away. So I started with that. That once that became easy, then it was like, all right, I can move on from there. But before I go any further, that's the first thing, right? The other strategy, once you decide, okay, fine, I want to talk to strangers. Okay, start with people that are at work, right? Start with girls or women that are working. All right, start there. That'll be the easy part. Start with the simple stuff. From there, what you need to do is you need to be in a constant state of fatigue. Okay, what that means is you have to be physically exhausted. Because what that does is it will not allow your mind to run around and meander and make a bunch of things happen in your mind that aren't real. So what happens is when you're in that state of fatigue physically, it makes socializing a lot easier because there isn't those doubts anymore. You're pretty much operating, with your bare essence. That makes things a lot easier. So you need to understand that part is that if you're anxious or you got too much pent up energy and frustration and ticks, this will help you. This is what helped me. Because then what happens is you don't have a filter anymore. You're no longer tied down by all the stuff that's ruminating in your mind. So I have an example for you. One time I had just gotten out of the gym. It was a pretty good leg workout, I'd like to say. I walked out, walk into my car, and I see like this pretty girl. And usually what happens in those cases, right, because I was a shy guy, was I would maybe look at most and then kind of just keep going and say later on, man, I wish I would have spoken to that girl. But in this case, because I was in that state of fatigue, immediately it was really easy to just strike up a conversation, say hello, say something really silly, something perhaps even stupid. But that doesn't matter. The point is I opened my mouth and then I knew from there things were going to be easy. So, I managed to get her number, a couple minutes of small talk. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, got the number, walked away. Made it look like a pro, made it look like I've been there before, but I hadn't been there before. And after that, I realized like, oh, this is what I'm capable of. I'm capable of this small talk, of getting a number, of sealing the deal and walking away without being without being bogged down by all the thoughts going on in my head, right? So that was a key insight that I had, was that if I just stayed exhausted physically, then talking to strangers was going to be easy, super easy, in fact. So I think once you do that, then talking to strangers will be easy. Try those two things, right? First, talk to cashiers and stuff. But what I encourage you to do is go work out, and then after that, go and do some stuff. Get out there in the real world and see how that works. 'Cause I think, like I said, when you're that tired, there is no excess energy for anything other than the fundamentals, right? Anything that's um, not important. So if you can do that, you can bypass a lot of the anxiety and the shyness and the awkwardness that comes with having too much energy. So if you just tire yourself out, you're really just left with your bare minimum, just yourself, right? You're not focused on what are they thinking. You're not self-conscious. It makes you feel a lot freer. And like I said, don't be so hard on yourself. I grew up shy, not because I was sheltered or anything, but I think because I didn't have like the positive male role models that I perhaps needed. And so that kind of kept me a little bit sheltered. So like I said, don't be hard on yourself. If you're in that position, just know that there's a way out. There's a different way, right? There's a different method. I think this will help you. I encourage you to try it out. Get out there, go get a workout and get really tired, and then go and see if you can talk to strangers. It's a lot easier. Even if your eyes are all droopy, it won't even matter. The point is you'll just be able to do it, and it'll just get easier from there. Ultimately, you'll become desensitized over time. But give it a shot. Let me know in the comments how it feels, and I'll see you in the next one.